Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to Amazon'sFitMag.com. The podcast is brought to you by GPS Photography and Video. Why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. GPSPhotoandVideo.com. My guest, NPC Wellness, really? No. NPC women's bodybuilder, Stephanie Novak. Thanks for joining me, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So tell everyone a little bit about yourself. We've been chatting all week, the status of women's bodybuilding, but give me some of your bio. And of course, talk to me about your plans for 2026.
Well, I am 48, so I'm a master's competitor. I started training back in the year 2000. It was a much different time. I remember starting looking at bodybuilding magazines and stuff just to get a workout. But I was in the military at the time, and I was serving in the Navy from 1995 to 2011 as a electrician and a flight engineer. And currently I work in aviation maintenance as a supervisor. But I started working out with the idea in my mind that I wanted to be what I saw on ESPN when I was like 14 years old. It was women's bodybuilding was actually so popular. Well, I guess as popular as men's bodybuilding, but you could watch it on ESPN. It was on ABC like Saturday mornings for like their sports shows. So I got to see women's bodybuilding like that when I was a kid, and I always wanted to look like that. But it took me a long time to actually get to the point where I could go in the gym, feel good enough about lifting weights. My ex-husband at the time, when we started dating, he started teaching me how to lift weights. And from there, I kind of just took off. I just wanted to keep training, keep the idea of competing in my mind. I didn't compete actually till 2007. And I didn't know anything. Nobody knew how to coach. I couldn't do anything. I actually went to Tangi Johnson's seminar for figure posing. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. I wonder if Tangi Johnson even remembers she did those. But I was doing that in 2007, did the Emerald Cup for the first time in Seattle, Washington. And then from there, I compete like every couple of years. So 2007, 2010, 2017, 2018, and then 2021. It's always a long road to competing just because of the expense. There was like building muscle because you want to compete and do better. I can honestly say each year I've gotten better every time I competed and training. So it's definitely a long road. It's a marathon, not a sprint in bodybuilding. So it's just something that I keep on going. And my dream is to get my pro card. So this coming year, I do have to get a surgery for my hip because of hip arthritis and torn labrum, and both of my shoulders are torn, but I've learned to train around that one. It's just the hip that really affects my training for legs. So this coming year, I plan on competing either in April. I'd like to do the O for the NPC side. Right. Hopefully July, maybe do the Miss International part because it's near my mom and my sister, and it's too bad it doesn't have more competitors. Seems like a great venue. And then towards the end of the year, hopefully, if I don't have my pro card by that point, but I want to do USA's, and then the Titans show. I want to have my pro card and be able to do Titans, and if not, do it as an NPC competitor. There's a lot of shows throughout the year, thankfully. But I definitely have my eyes on doing the pro qualifiers. And we actually have been attracting, it's surprising, there have been more competitors than you'd think, I guess, for women's bodybuilding right now. Right. So it's nice to see like women's bodybuilding's not completely dead, but you definitely see them come out for the pro qualifiers, if not for the NPC shows.
Well, shout out to Fabiana Ajos, who got her pro card in Chicago. and Nina Amperfol, aka Nina Beans, who got hers just recently here at North Americans. So that's two additions to women's bodybuilding. But then
Mhm.
we have Christina Mendoza, who's now competing in wellness. Michaela Aycock did not compete this year. And so I guess you wonder, where are the women bodybuilders coming from? Because NPC, the growth is too slow. And then women's physique, girls don't want to move up to women's bodybuilding. What's your take on it?
I don't know if it's, I guess it could be a couple of factors. There's the body dysmorphia part because you're never big enough to compete. You're never lean enough. You're not enough something for women's bodybuilders. And I've heard that from more women's physique competitors.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you look at frame and weight, if you are a conditioned, I would say like middleweight competitors, say you're a very conditioned 135-pound competitor,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think you should go into women's bodybuilding, go into women's open. Even it kind of depends on your height and stuff, but if you have the right symmetry and size, even if you're a little bit more on the lightweight, you could still do really well as a women's pro bodybuilder. I think it depends on the shows that you get into, but
Mm-hmm.
it's symmetry, it's conditioning, and it's size to frame ratio. It's not, you don't have to be 165 pounds at 5'3". I mean, you don't. It's kind of, that's her dysmorphia. I don't know if the perception on when like for women's bodybuilding is it's not feminine enough. It all depends on the competitor. If you come out and like Christina was extremely feminine on stage. If
She's
there's any
beautiful.
critique on her posing, yeah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any critique on her posing, it would be pose harder because sometimes she
Mm-hmm.
posed too soft. But you'd want to see more of the striations and stuff come out.
Right.
So it's like you have the ability to have a stronger look. Um, I'm not quite sure why more women's physique pros don't want to go into women's bodybuilding. It's not a suit. The posing is open hand, but in women's bodybuilding, who cares? You can pose open hand if you want to. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Closed fist, open fist. Diana Cadeau, she would do open-handed poses all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that there was always, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that problem is. Like, what hurdle do women's physique competitors in the pro ranks have to clear before they say, "Yeah, I can be successful in
Mm-hmm.
women's bodybuilding"? There's plenty of women's physique competitors that could do really well in women's bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
That would be phenomenal to see like 25 competitors in a women's bodybuilding show. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've seen that.
Yeah. And women's physique had, I think, 31 shows this year. So I think women's physique is definitely going to be fine, as well as figure. But women's bodybuilding, I think, had 10. And so, again, the biggest thing is where's the growth going to come from? And if a judge has told a women's physique competitor, hey, you need to move up, they may just not want to move up. And that's that. So if they don't move up, then they're going to move out and continually get placed down. But at the end of the day, the growth has got to come from somewhere because from the NPCs, it's just too slow. And women's bodybuilding for that part is in trouble because where are the
I
competitors?
I think what is it, Melissa Tech, right?
Melissa
She
Type,
didn't
yeah.
she win Chicago as Melissa Tech
Mm-hmm.
type. And when Michaela Aycock made the move, um, they had a lot of fantastic growth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they fit really well into women's bodybuilding. I think Michaela's size that she built like over the years from women's physique was like phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Plus her conditioning, she was always the most conditioned athlete on the
Right.
stage. Um, so there's small examples. I mean, they've made successful moves into women's bodybuilding and winning shows. Um, I think uh, I'm not sure what that hurdle is that women's physique competitors need to make, but I
Right.
do think making a weight cutoff, like sort of what we were talking about a little before, is doing your height to weight cutoff. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
over a certain weight, you're going to get booted and boosted. I wouldn't say booted, that's kind of negative, but boosted into women's open, just like the guys in 212 and classic physique. If you come in overweight on check-ins, then you're going to have to go to open. I think that's fair. Just the weight restrictions and stuff. Women will, in general, if you compete well in women's open bodybuilding, your size and weight are going to be proportional. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of an interesting thing. I would love to kind of see the statistics on women that win or do well in women's physique and women that do well in women's bodybuilding. I'd like to see what the height to weight ratio is, because I'm pretty sure that the comparison is going to be really close, maybe
Mm-hmm.
5 to 10 pounds. It kind of depends on what your height is, and that's what your proportion is. But I
Right.
think that a cutoff on weight would be interesting. Not my idea. I heard this from IF and IFBB Pro that I was speaking to, Andrea Sauer, and she had talked to me
Mm-hmm.
about it. And I was like, yeah, I
Yes.
think that's a fantastic. Yeah, that's a good perspective.
And then, of
So
course,
maybe that would help
Donaldson.
boost the numbers a
Yeah.
little bit.
And I was just checking my data. Donna Salib, she's retired. And speaking of Andrea Sauer, there are women's bodybuilders out there,
Oh,
but some are just not competing. Um, and I don't know why that is either. But at the end of the day, I think women's bodybuilding is in trouble, and I think the promoters definitely took note this year as to what happened. Um, it was very concerning to see the numbers at Linda Murray's show, Miss Olympia, and very concerning to see the numbers at the Triple O, Andrea Shaw, Miss Olympia. Uh, if they're not showing up for their own, uh, then I don't know what to say, because they're not showing up for Linda and Andrea. Uh, you know, I'm sure it's frustrating for them. They're out there trying to promote the sport, promote women's bodybuilding. They got to the point where they are promoters, and then women's bodybuilders don't even show up. I mean, you've seen maybe 2 shows, I think, this year where there were double figures. Um, and it just is
mm-hmm.
what it is. So there's definitely a problem, but what do you see as the fix?
A few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Wings of Strength had talked about doing a mentorship program, because they did do the ambassadors program, and I
The
think
ambassador,
for
right?
Wings of Strength, it probably a lot of. I think they lost money on it. I'm not sure about that, but I think that worked to an extent. It was the ambassador program. I heard and read a few things. It was like on Instagram, I think it was about a
Mm-hmm.
mentorship program where female bodybuilders mentor, and like the amateur side, the mentor,
Mm-hmm.
the amateur bodybuilders. Um, would that help? Like for me, I'm an amateur NPC competitor. Would that help me? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I already want to do it. I don't think that that's, for the most part, for women. They want to compete somewhere. They want a
Right.
stage. Um, I don't. It's not exactly expense. I work, like
Mm-hmm.
a full-time job. Anybody, it's hard to fit the time in. I do think that I think that that's sort of a problem with some competitors, is that they feel that they need a sponsorship to be able to compete. And frankly, everybody's got to work. Everybody's got to do something. You don't get something for free.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, be wise about where you're putting your money, um, and work towards that goal. So if you need to put money away to be able to compete at a later time, then you should do that.
Yeah.
Competing is really expensive.
Oh,
Um,
no question.
I think it is. If you're a male competitor, female competitor, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's not a good excuse to me, just because I put
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money. So nobody owes me anything.
Right.
This is just what I want to do.
Right.
Um, but on the other side of it, the fees for competing are extremely high. So I know that for promoters, um, for any division, they charge quite a bit. The muscle contest shows, I think it's like $175, $195 to enter. I do see people entering multiple divisions, which is nuts to me. The national competitions are what, 325 to 375 per division. So competition fees are those are gosh, those are expensive.
Right.
I would like to see maybe a little bit more interest. Say like we'll take for example Ms. International. We have ones and twos and threes. There's usually not a lot of competitors, unfortunately.
Right.
But I think it would be interesting to see if you take into account like all the competitors that you have at the national level shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Wings of Strength or who's the other promoter? It's out of Florida. What's his name? It's
Tim Gardner.
that does the Tampa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tim
Tim
Gardner.
Gardner. He's still
Mm-hmm.
doing the show. If you take, say, like the top two competitors or something from each of the national level shows, you have North Americans to choose from, Masters USAs, USAs, Nationals, Junior Nationals. For female bodybuilding, make it an invitational, like a true invitational. It's like, we're going to invite you to compete at this show for your pro card. And that would be an interesting way to maybe give women the opportunity to target that show and to compete and be at the next level. It's sort of like the next tier up is you're getting invited to specifically compete at the show as an amateur. And then getting your pro card, and then I think you still have the opportunity to compete on the pro show, or is that they did away with that one? Because I know that they rush you on stage. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
They were doing it in an odd way because it was like 45 minutes. You do your pre-evening and evening show all at the same time, so it's a little different experience on the competing side. But there's so many ideas that you can have as a competitor. The reality when it comes to funding the show is different. I know that the promoters probably have a headache just making sure they fill out how many people that they need competing, and it's got to be a headache.
Well, the sanction fee alone,
so to be a
10K. So yeah,
it's like I can't blame anybody but myself if I'm not competing and not showing up and showing out. So I don't think women as bodybuilders, we should complain about this if we're not showing up, because you can't complain about that. I mean, you're that population specifically that needs to compete.
Right.
So don't complain about it. Unfortunately, it's like that period of time when we did lose the Olympia and Rising Phoenix got really big.
Right.
A lot of people were complaining about that. It's like women's bodybuilding is dead, and you had people saying good riddance to them. And then there were people that were like, no, we need them back. So getting female bodybuilding back and then having this deep, like steep decline in just competitors is really disheartening. Because historically, I mean, that's where it started. It started as female bodybuilding. Maybe weight classes would help on the pro side. They did that for a little bit. Like Juliette Bergman, didn't she win? Or it was, I think when Juliette Bergman was competing, they had a lightweight competitor, lightweight Miss Olympia, and then the heavyweight Miss Olympia, because they were doing weight classes for a little bit. It was just a couple of seasons. So again, it's. I can't complain. I know what my problem is. I don't know what their problem is.
Yeah. And of course,
it's like you're not going to get your pro card if you don't compete. You're not going to win.
Right.
You compete.
You saw Teresa Avancic this year. Of course, Rashana Boswell, Marilyn Yee recently at the Titans. I mean, it's not good. I mean, I can name 5 or 6 women's bodybuilder competitors, right? Maybe 10, but I can't name the 31 from the 31 shows all of the women's physique. So I'm like, okay, where are they at? Hopefully they'll come from women's physique. I don't know, but if I don't want to compete as a women's bodybuilder, I'm not going to compete in it. It's a niche. The sport itself is a niche. but when you look at women's bodybuilding, they catch all the heat.
Isn't it? It's
Nobody
hard
wants
though
to
because
look like that.
it's a great division. So much history.
Yeah, it is. That's the main reason I started Amazon's Fitness Magazine in 2022, because I was hearing the same thing. Nobody wants to see that. They look like a man, on and on and on. But at the same time, uh, it's still here. I don't think it's on life support. I just think it needs to change with the times. And the times are that, yay, you need to do this and that to look more. And you said it before and said it again that femininity is not on the scorecard, but it is, and it's obviously looked at that way. So um, I don't know what the fix is. I've
I'm pretty
always
sure
stated
it's on
throughout the
the
whole
judging
year.
criteria.
Yeah, you think it's in the criteria, or
I the I believe the judging criteria, at least on the that's most likely it's on the amateur rules too, but
Mhm,
it's size, symmetry, conditioning, skin condition because they're looking at your skin,
mhm,
femininity. That's all part of your overall score. It's like certain
right,
percentages or whatever, um, and whatever the judge, like the head judge guidance would be.
right,
I think sometimes we women are our own worst enemies on that because
mhm,
we might present um, an image that's it's well, no matter what we do, it's not going to be socially acceptable. I mean, it's on the outside
yeah.
anyway.
Well, that's
But
women in general. Period. Yeah.
take yeah, it's like just take care to know that when you're presenting yourself a certain way, if you
Right.
you if you have a certain overall look, um, you're going to be downgraded for it. You might have a whole lot of muscle mass, but again, you're looking at the symmetry portion. So if your size doesn't match symmetry and you just have size for size sake, then you shouldn't be evaluated a bit better just because you have the size. I mean,
Right.
you have to have the symmetry to go with it. So just getting big for big's sake is not helping.
You're right.
It's not helping us.
You're absolutely right.
And
You're right.
it's it's admirable. I think like if you're a female competitor and you want to get really big, okay, that's up
Mhm.
to you, but that's not going to make you a winner of a show
You're right. Right.
unless you have the appropriate symmetry to go with it, the appropriate overall look to go with it.
Mhm. And like I said, two terms that
Just
I've
saying.
heard over the last year is conditioning and femininity. Conditioning and femininity. Um, and it circles back to it until here we are at the Olympia, and that really separates. And I think the judging really becomes clear at the Olympia, and then doing all throughout the year, it's a little dicey because it's like, okay, what are you looking for? You want size, you want symmetry, you want femininity. What are you looking for? But they can only judge who shows up at the shows. And as far as women's bodybuilding, there haven't been that many
Mhm.
competitors at the show, so it is what it is. Michelle Brent looked good.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
you know I followed her for so long. Like when I started
Mhm.
like lifting weights and getting more into bodybuilding like in 2000, I knew who Michelle Brent was. Like I followed her then. Because
Good deal.
I would look at the magazines because you'd always have that amateur section like for the magazines,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
Women's Physique World. So I followed her for so long, um, and seeing gives me hope. I'm like I want to keep competing until
Yeah.
I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s. Who
Yeah.
cares? Because
And
at
the
least we'll have the
Masters is the thing. The
Masters
Masters
division to keep
Olympia
competing
in
in.
Japan this year. Yeah. What do you think of the Masters in Japan this year?
I think that's really cool, especially traveling to different places to do it, sort of like they used to do for the Olympia, because they would
Right.
travel all around the world to do like different like the shows at different venues. Go to Japan. I travel a lot. I just don't travel to Japan a lot. Um, I think choosing different venues kind of, it piques the interest of people
Mm-hmm.
and hope. I mean, I think that women over 50 might appreciate bodybuilding more than the younger girls, just
Right.
because there are so many benefits to bodybuilding as we age as females. I do think female competitors in their 40s and 50s tend to look better than the male competitors that stick around in their 40s and 50s. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
women get this muscle maturity that looks better
Exactly.
on stage,
That's the
and the
word.
only limiting factor is kind of like just your skin as your skin ages. But
Right.
women tend to look better for a lot longer than the guys. So it's something to look forward to. That's a life goal right there.
Yeah.
Keep competing till I can't anymore. Until I'm dead.
Yeah.
So
Well, just like
I
wine,
appreciate that about.
wine takes time. It gets better and
Oh
better.
yeah,
Last two shows, Rising Phoenix and the
I'll probably
Titans.
go down in the record books as the one that go on.
Well, that's
I
fine.
like the Titans. I got to go to that show. I really
Uh-huh.
enjoyed it. Yeah,
What was your takeaway?
that was a good show.
How many women's bodybuilders were there?
There were 10.
Okay, yeah.
There were 10 competitors, and overall the size and the conditioning was actually pretty good. Except for a few competitors were a little too soft, but for the most part, size and conditioning was really good. I'm a So the posing routines were actually better than I've seen. It's fun to see that they took more care with their posing.
Mhm.
Like Rashana Boswell, she chose a Prince Purple Rain, and
Love
I
her.
really appreciate that because I'm like, that's a song I would want to use. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did like that show. They did some weird stuff on the judging though, because they did their first
Mhm.
call out. It was like I think they did 7 in their first call out, which was a little bit odd. The
Mhm.
second call out, and then they brought out the people from the first call out again, but they left like the top 3. So they left Patty. It was Patty Hansen, um, Desunka Dawson, and Christina. They left on the stage, and then they brought out, I think it was Roshana and Ava Malilo. So that
Mhm.
third, like the confirmation call out,
Yeah.
they brought them all out on the line. So there were a lot of women on the line, and then they pulled the top 2 in the center out to the sides, which was really weird. And they were comparing, I think they were comparing Ava to Christina or something like that. But it was
Mhm.
just like a real weird look for the call out. And then they ended up calling out everybody onto the line. So it was like all
Mhm.
10 competitors were stretched across the line for a call out, which was really kind of strange. And they added in the most muscular pose, which for women, that's not, didn't know what the mandatories were. So it was
Mhm.
kind of weird. Um, it was just like a awkward call out. And so that was the strangest thing about the prejudging. Um, but other than that, I really think Desunka, I got to meet her at Metroflex in Arlington about a year ago, I think. And I love her. She's got a fire in her. I really dig her. She's cool. So seeing her compete was like kind of cool for me
Right. Right.
because I was like really rooting for her. I was like, yeah, she did it. Yeah. So I was super excited that she looked great. And it's amazing. Her when she trains, she's like a Dorian Yates kind of person training. She doesn't lightly throw around weights, but she is like in the trenches kind of training, which I really appreciate. And Patty, she looked really good. Patty's conditioning is usually really good. It looks
Yeah.
like she put on some good shape
Saw her in
and
Atlanta.
size.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and Christina, I noticed she looks smaller. Like
Mm-hmm.
her upper body was always trying to catch up with her lower body, but I noticed
Mm-hmm.
she looked a little bit smaller. And I was actually right behind her husband. He kept yelling
Mm-hmm.
for her. He's the loudest guy
Yeah.
in the ballroom, you know, and
Yeah.
he's just yelling for her, yelling for her.
Yep.
And I was
Saw her
like,
in
oh,
Tampa. So yeah, last year. Yeah.
well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So.
I'm just kind of like she's soft in the glutes. I mean, I gotta be honest. It's like she has a great overall look, but she's soft in the glutes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's the conditioning portion that she struggles with in her lower body. But that's like the biggest overall critique. Other than that, her balance was a lot better at this show than I've seen it, even though she looked a little bit smaller. It's just her conditioning. It was just her from the back. That was
Yeah.
the biggest problem. So that I'm glad in the judging they went with condition.
Mm-hmm.
And Dasunka just had better balance than Patty. So I'm glad that they had that overall judging was pretty good. Ava, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Ava, I was a little bit disappointed with because she was a bit too soft,
Right.
but she has really good overall structure and stuff. But she was just a bit too soft. Um, and I wish she would stop doing vacuums. I hate female bodybuilders doing vacuums. It just the overall shape gets distorted and you can't see the abs the way you should. I really
Uh-huh.
hate it when women do vacuums. It's just a pet peeve of mine. But it was
So
a good
in
show.
yeah, Christina Mendoza, it was a great show. Always all shows that feature women's bodybuilding. Christina Mendoza is going to wellness now. I'm a photographer, so I mean I love them all 7 divisions because I'm not a judge, but I always tell people photographers are the quintessential participation trophy, and so everybody's a winner with photographers. But we just got to capture that physique of however long you've been in prep and leave that indelible memory for your fans and portfolio as well as ourselves. So I love it. So I wish her all the best. Looking forward to see how she does in wellness. And so we just have to see. And back to trying to build women's bodybuilding to get as many competitors as we can. And it's going to be interesting to see how it works out in 2026. But looking at the Olympia, we look at last year, Andrea Shaw got her fifth, Angela Yo third, Angela Yo second, Ashley Jones third, Hella Trevino fourth, Nadia Capusotto fifth, Christina Mendoza sixth in the world to now wellness. So we just lost Stephanie. Hope we can get her back. And Lavanya Barros. And then eighth was Sherry Priyami. And ninth was Michaela Acock. So it was interesting to see how different Olympia 2024 was to now Olympia 2025. And so it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. And we'll just have to go from there. We'll wait a couple of minutes to see if we can get Stephanie back. Connectivity is always tough, especially when you're doing a live. And so it's like pre-recorded, you can do things and edit it, but the thing about it, it may not be as genuine. So that's what you got to look out for. So, couple comments. Ted Alex, women's bodybuilding is the greatest. Of course it is. All the rage, George Page, Sherry Priyami, and even Andrea Shaw. Don't know what he's talking about there. But the number of women's bodybuilding is lacking. And we have to see what happens in 2026. But now it's the 2025 Olympia. That's what we're looking forward to now here in a couple of days, not weeks. October 9th through 12th. And who's it going to be? I mean, support all of them. Everybody has their favorite, but it's all going to shake out from the judge's standpoint, and it's all in the judge's hands. So uh, that's what I love about it. Like I said, I'm a photographer. I'm not a judge. I can get to have them all, and so I can support them all and love them all as well as I do. And so, that's just the way it is. Either you're a fan or you're not. All seven divisions, you say whatever you want, but in all the seven divisions, there is something for everyone. And with the new seventh division, with the bikini division, bikini light, as they'll call it, they will be in the Olympia. So let me see if I can get Stephanie back. Let me see. Text her, see if she can try to come back in. Uh, So I just checked her to see if she can come back in on the same link. If not, then we will move on. But it was great talking with her. Stephanie Novak, she announced her competition plans for next year. And so, hey, looking forward to you got the Triple O Dynasty. But first, you got the show in Vegas that's going to be in November. So that's gonna shake out well. And she says she's trying, so we'll see here. I don't know how we lost connectivity. I think it's on her end, but mine looks pretty strong. So we're gonna wait a couple of minutes. But while we're waiting to see if we can get Stephanie back, I do want to remind everyone first to always thank you for the support of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Thank you for all those that subscribe to the website, amazonsfitmag.com. And thank you to all of those that have purchased the magazine. So we've been in existence since 2022, and we're going to keep on rolling on and going on from there. Obviously, this is probably my busiest time of the year with sports contracts, high school football, shooting yearbook, and different other things. So it keeps me pretty busy. So let's see here. Stephanie is trying to pop back in. I see her, but won't add her. Okay. There we go. Hey, you back?
I'm back.
Okay. I don't know what
Stupid
happened.
internet.
Well, that's good stuff. All right. So I
Yes,
wanted to leave you off with
internet.
what's your thoughts on the Olympia this year? Looks totally different from last year. Like I said, Christina Mendoza went from sixth in the world to now competing in wellness, and what a difference a year makes. What are your thoughts?
I am really excited for Angie. I'm a huge Angie O fan. However,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Ashley Jones come back tighter this year, tight
Mm-hmm.
and full. And I think that top three is going to be gnarly, especially because Ashley, if she comes in tight and grainy, she's going to be a little bit closer to Angie Yo's overall
Mm-hmm.
look. But Ashley's fullness is just kind of like next level. And Andrea, I mean, Andrea's conditioning has always been really good,
Right.
but she always kind of has a little bit of a film. So I
Mm-hmm.
think if she's pushed by those two, I think Ashley can kind of unseat her. I actually could see Ashley Jones doing that this year.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean, hey,
How
it
about
is
you?
what it is. Ashley Jones. Well, I'm
Yeah,
biased because Ashley Jones is a sponsored athlete of Amazon's Fitness Magazine, so I can't go against her. Obviously, you can't be the sponsor of someone and then say, "Oh, I don't think she's going to win," but it's going to be amazing to watch. And I'm always for who I sponsor, obviously, and so I got to be for Ashley. And we'll see because Andrea Shaw is going for number 6. And so you think that Ashley can take her? Oh, she froze up. Give it a second here. Okay, I got you again.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I know we got weather issues here. I don't know if we got weather issues out there that could be affecting. But before we cut off again, you were saying you're thinking Ashley Jones will upset Andrea Shaw.
It's irritating. Yes, I think
Okay,
Ashley's going to upset Andrea Shaw. So
there
it's
you
going to
have it.
be exciting to watch.
Yep, there you
And I
have
want to
it.
see her posing routine because she's really good.
Yep, and of course I'm for Ashley Jones obviously because I sponsor her. So yeah, Uh, and so Angela Yo, you got third, or you got Angela Yo second, and Andrea third.
Um, we'll we'll see because I think I would say third.
But it's gonna be interesting.
I would like to see Andrea Yo and
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, and then yes, it will be. Sorry
It's
about my
gonna be a
internet
battle.
problems.
Y'all, no problem. It's gonna be a battle. We're gonna love watching it. And we'll see how it all shakes out. It's in the hands of the judges. Like I said, I'm for Ashley Jones because I sponsor her, of course. And so I always wish her all the best. Hope to have her on the podcast actually just before the Olympia. So I reached back out to her. So that'll be great. And of course, you know, Angela Yo, it is what it is. But then you can't slight the rest of the field. Um, Chelsea Dion's definitely my dark horse. I think with her height, she's something to be reckoned with.
No, I think it's conditioning. No matter what. I think for this Olympia, I want to see better conditioning
Right.
personally. It's I think that's the bugaboo like for
Yeah.
women's bodybuilding right now. Women's
Right.
physique division, they're coming in peeled, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's not really the same on the women's bodybuilding side. I would rather see the ripped, like the peeled competitors
Mm-hmm.
by more size. Um, personally, I like to see that as a fan of bodybuilding because women's physique competitors are just kind of kicking women's bodybuilding butt
On
and
the
being
conditioning side, yeah.
more ripped, which
Yeah.
is like, or more conditioned. I'll say not more ripped, but
And of course
sort
Salika
of
Devine.
disappointing.
I can't forget Salika. She looks amazing too. And I think in fact Salika Devine, Ashley Jones, and
So
Andrea
better conditioning would be
physique
nice to
a
see
lot.
at this Olympia.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's going to happen regardless. And that's not to slight any other field, any other women bodybuilders that are in the field. But to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And the champ is Andrea Shaw going for 6. And we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Was it 3 weeks now? 3 weeks out?
October 9th. So, yeah, down to what, 3 weeks, 14 days, 20 days, uh, 20 days in a
We're
wake
getting
up,
there.
like 17 days, I think. So, yeah, it's going to be huge. And always great to see the best of the best on the ultimate stage that is the Olympia. And we'll see how it shakes out. Thanks for talking to me, Stephanie. Any last words you want
Yeah,
to put out to your fans,
I'm gonna stream this year.
you are going to stream the Olympia? You said,
I would say put up or shut up.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You're
I'll be
right.
watching it. I'm not going to be going there this year. I have to be in Texas.
Yeah.
But I really want women to compete.
Yeah.
So I would say get on stage, compete, and let's keep it alive.
Yes. Please. Let's go women's bodybuilding. Hey, we got to go and show up and show out at this Olympia, and of course show up and show out
Sorry,
in
my dog is being
2026.
giving me toys. So.
That's all right. I'm gonna let you go. Appreciate you. Thanks for talking to me, and look forward to talking to you again as we go into 2026. All the best at the Triple O. Will be your first show, right?
Yes, that's what I'm aiming for. Hopefully, I can get my surgery and be good to go.
All right, great. Thanks again, Stephanie. Talk to you soon.
But thank you.
Here we go. Bye. Stephanie Novak, NPC, currently NPC women's bodybuilder, going for a pro card in 2026. And of course, I'm always glad to see women competing. I'm always glad to see women's bodybuilders. So you got the show that's in November in Vegas, and of course the Triple O. But first, it's the Olympia, and we're gonna see who it comes down to. Who's gonna be the new champ? Who's gonna be the current champ? Andrea, will she get 6? And then of course you got the other divisions. There will be a new fitness Miss Olympia. There will be a new figure Miss Olympia. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. Um, and we'll just go on from there. As always, support women's bodybuilding. Thank you for supporting Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. YouTube channel of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Then go to amazonsfitmag.com and order the magazine. Get your copy, the latest issue. And, with your support, we can do a lot. In the current summer issue, Norma Reed Fonseca, wellness competitor, Masters, qualified for the Masters Olympia. Go out and buy it. You can buy it online now. As I said, you can go to amazonsfitmag.com, click on issues, and order your print copy of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. The fall issue / Olympia issue / October issue is coming out soon. So we're going to get that out to you. I'll be working on that a lot this weekend with my art director, Michael Young Jr. And so continued support. Got a lot of photo shoots coming up. It's October, so that means cosplay. As everyone's transitioned to out of season, because every season is in season for me as a photographer. And so we got to celebrate your physique, not just when you're in competition, but all year long, because there's so many looks and so many different things you can do. And people are like, wow, never knew she would look like that. So cosplay is one of those looks. I always like a 50s look as well. Ice Princess look. I've been trying to do that for the longest, but upcoming soon in October here in a couple of weeks, going to go back and do a body paint shoot with Madeline Greco and her husband Scott Frey, livingbrush.com. This will be my third time working with them, and they are award-winning body painters. They always usually at the Arnold's. Worked a lot with Jan Tana, and so she has great work, her and her husband. Again, Madeline Greco, Scott Frey, and go to livingbrush.com. Book them, and you can see all their work. And of course, you can see all the times that I work with them. Did a living tree shoot with Sarah Quambar. Did a poison ivy shoot. And hey, great work. Love working with them. Anytime you work with a body painter, they can just paint. And I just worry about the photography aspect of it. So a lot of issues, a lot of ideas, a lot of different shoots coming to you in the month of October. And besides the Olympia, and of course that the Olympia issue / the October issue / fall issue will be out soon. Celebrate the physique. Celebrate women's physique. Amazon'sFitMag.com. Thanks again for all the subscribers. I always want to put you guys up front. and all those that help pay the bills. Travel notice, probably won't see me at another show till the Arnold's. That's on the template. Gonna see me in Orlando next year for sure. Girl power. Maybe Pittsburgh, but more to follow. But first, everybody go out and enjoy the Olympia, and of course, get the live stream and support women's bodybuilding and all of your favorite competitors. We'll talk to you soon.